Wow, 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 wow. What a game. That was a game of the year right there. Oh, wow. Two times they missed the fourth down conversion. It's kind of weird because normally on fourth down you look to complete something just short and intermediate, and both times the Bengals threw deep, and both times they missed. Jamar Chase was balling. Jamar Chase was balling like the Bengals season was on the line. He certainly was balling like there a lot was on stake tonight for the Bengals. And surely, and as you know, when I did the NFL picks video, even though the Bengals lost tonight, even though they lost, they're still in this playoff race. The Bengals are far from finished, even though they went for two at the end. It was the right call. Lamar is playing like the best quarterback in the NFL. He's not throwing more interceptions than touchdowns. He had that big comeback against Cincinnati. He had the big third down against Dallas to prevent them from getting the ball again, from pulling in Atlanta Falcons on his own team. That big offensive performance last week against a elite Denver Broncos defense. Lamar Jackson is what Tom Brady alluded to. You're next. And basically, I knew what he meant. He wasn't the next quarterback, the first one to win the Super Bowl after Tom Brady retired. I knew he was referencing the next quarterback to win their first one. And this Super Bowl really, since Donald Trump won the election, it's Trump keeps on winning. It's Taylor Swift loses. Now it's like the maggots now, they're going to celebrate Taylor Swift's team losing. So that's kind of what's going to turn out for Kansas City. Even though you look at Lamar Black, Kamala Black, she lost. I just look at Kansas City and Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala Harris. That it's another win for the maggot base. Is they think it's rigged for the Chiefs. They don't like the fact that Taylor Swift is taking the attention. And so their guy gets in office January 20th, around the time of the AFC Championship game. Before or after, I have to go see the calendar. The Chiefs are going to lose. So basically, the Ravens, I still have them winning their division. And the Ravens defeated the Bills, right? But I think the Bills have two losses. The Ravens have three. The Bills still play the Chiefs. I'm probably going Bills to beat the Chiefs just to keep things interesting at the top, as far as how home field is concerned. You see if the Bills beat the Chiefs, then suddenly the Chiefs can't afford a margin of error because the Bills would have two losses and a head-to-head tiebreaker should they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And they seem to always beat them in the regular season, so I might as well go with Buffalo to beat Kansas City, and Kansas City has a loss. And, well, basically Baltimore can't get home field because the Chiefs, they're not losing, and the Chiefs had a head-to-head tiebreaker over Baltimore. So basically, you're probably expecting the Ravens to be the third seed, and the Chiefs are going for three straight titles, and the Ravens are the third seed, and the third time can be the charm for Lamar Jackson. The first time around, the AFC Championship game. The second time around, the very next game he would play after the AFC title, a cinematic ending for the first game of the NFL season. And now the third time is the charm for Lamar Jackson. The third matchup would be the inevitable playoff matchup between the two teams. There's something about Lamar Jackson playing much better than Patrick Mahomes. Typically, you look at the Ravens as the best defense in the NFL, top five at least, right? this year, coincidentally, the year that Lamar Jackson's supposed to carry the team, suddenly this Baltimore Ravens defense has what are they, 32nd in pass defense? And this is part of the story, is that Lamar's a running back and he can't play quarterback and he never ever going to win. But Lamar Jackson is going to have to carry this team on his back. And he will have to do it at Arrowhead. Ravens and Chiefs cinematic conclusion to the AFC playoffs. I don't know who they have in the, well, I think we do know who the Ravens have for the first game. So if Ravens are probable to finish in third, assuming that Lamar beats the Steelers to be NFL MVP, because that's the last real test. You see, the Ravens have yet to play the Steelers, but they play the Steelers twice. If Lamar Jackson defeats the Steelers for the division, and especially if the Steelers beat the Washington football team, then if Lamar beats these Steelers, then suddenly Lamar is a lock to be MVP. So, okay, let me just go to the chart quickly. Not the chart, though, but the playoff table, the NFL playoff standings. NBA picks are in. There's a lot of great games tomorrow. All picks are in. Suns, Mavs, and Cavs, and Akron-born Curry at, this Cleveland was where Stephen Curry won his first championship, because Game 6 in 2015 was at Cleveland. So yeah, Stephen Curry. I think it's crazy. I never ever would I have thought the Warriors were going to be the same team. I think the Warriors are avoiding turning over the basketball. So they're avoiding the turnovers. So the Warriors are looking to clean some stuff up. So, and again, I know the Cavs are good, but no chance that Goki LeBron James is going to have to play the Cavs in the finals. It's not happening. It's bait. Believe me, it's bait. It's not that hard. It was too easy. Yankees Dodgers after the lowest rated World Series, and now when you're Adam Silver and you see how baseball did with that, you're competing with baseball. So you want to have Celtics and Lakers in there. Goat King LeBron in the NBA Finals. A team that would be coming off back-to-back trophies, in my opinion, because I think the Celtics win the NBA Cup exactly 6 months later from June 17 when they won the championship to December 17. But anyways, sidetracking to the basketball, you have to pay attention to the regular season. But Ravens are 5 to defeat Pittsburgh. They would finish in third place because, the Texans are without Diggs and their offensive line is bad, and Lamar's playing like the MVP. So the Ravens are going to do better than the AFC South champion. So if the Ravens are at 3 right now, the Chargers are at 6, and the Steelers have a head-to-head tiebreaker over the LA Chargers. And if the Ravens beat the Bengals twice, then I cannot see a Bengals-Ravens rematch. What would be interesting is seeing Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers at number 6 against John Harbaugh and the Ravens at 3. That'd be pretty dope to see Ravens Chargers. I think the two teams play each other, I think, in November. So yeah, it'd be pretty interesting to see who Lamar Jackson plays. For him to go for 3 and 4 in the playoffs. My keyboard is being shipped, so I have to. There's some trolls over there. I mean, You win some, you lose some for elections, but hey, everybody had Trump in 2020. I had Joe Biden, and I was right. And this time with this election, I just underestimated just the general intelligence of the voting population. They would understand how economies work and how the inflation is doing. Like, don't get me wrong, we're having inflation, but people blaming it on Biden, it's like it's on the companies. Let's be real. It's on the companies for price gouging. You should be looking at Kroger and all these companies out there that are deliberately price gouging above the natural rate of inflation. So again, people want to repeat the last 4 years. This election is rigged. You can't tell me Donald Trump won the popular vote when he lost the popular vote the two prior elections. Something is not adding up right. They did have the Russian hacks at predominantly black polling stations in the swing states, so the Russians definitely did play a role in influencing the election, but probably not enough to sway the results to Kamala Harris's favor. But they certainly did try to influence the election. But anyways, the market deplorables are something else. It's like it's a couple days later, and they're still trolling, but they'll be paying higher prices. You and I will be paying higher prices thanks to tariffs and thanks to rounding up all the Latinos and having labor shortages for people who are picking the produce and the food that you pay for at the grocery store. So the elite told us what was in Project 2025, and they show nothing but contempt for the average person because they pretty much have told America what they were going to do if the billionaires got who they wanted in the White House. So don't say you weren't warned about what's going to happen. Higher prices in a recession, a trade war, and a labor shortage in the fields. That is Trumponomics 101, and we've already seen similar results from 2016. Again, the world is horrified. But voting has consequences, and leaving your ballot blank has consequences, but the numbers are not adding up. Where did the 10 million go? I suspect it could be rigged, but my only inference is that people left the presidential section blank. So Trump didn't get any additional support from 2020. So he's a joke. People are fed up with the bullshit. People are fed up with Kamala. They don't know. They don't have a clue about Biden's accomplishments. I blame the media for that. And again, Donald Trump was a disastrous president, but we live in idiocracy. So yeah, I know I had it intertwined because some of the market trolls came in and just started like, I don't know if those are bot accounts or something, but they seem to be bot accounts. Yeah, he's 35th at home for 35 points, and of course Tom Brady is Gematria 35. So the real J keeping it real right there, just staying on topic with the game. So 35 points, of course. The Ravens won Super Bowl 35, and Tom Brady's Gematria 35. And again, the Ravens is 40, and the Super Bowl will be played on the 40th day of the year, which is February the 9th. And again, the last time the Ravens beat the Chiefs, they beat them by a score of 9-6. If the Ravens win and defeat the Chargers in the playoffs, the Chiefs would fall to 9-6 against the Ravens historically. I did correctly predict the Chiefs to win every game to begin the season. The Lions will be they're going to be the NFC representative for the Super Bowl because 16 years after 2008, of course, we get the 2024 season. I just don't think you can have the Chiefs win again. People would lose interest. So the Chiefs are going down, and injuries are a very real concern. And there's a period in time where Kansas City they play they get some easy teams, so they don't really get tested. I'm talking about Carolina. I'm talking about the Raiders, but they do play the Chargers again. But that schedule is pretty easy for Kansas City, and if Kansas City is number one, they play the lowest ranked team in the next round. So the Chiefs are going to play who either 5 through 7. Maybe Steelers get upset because Russell Wilson's washed up. Again, like my keyboard's not working, and again the Surface keyboard is getting shipped as we speak. So again, kind of limited access to the Gematrinator, but it will be back. I promise that. Lamar Jackson is going to improve to 6-4 with the win in the Super Bowl. It's Campbell. That's Gematria 64. You think about Dan Campbell. You think about the Super Bowl site at New Orleans. New Orleans Saints is 64. And Kansas City Chiefs is 64. So Lamar Jackson's going to beat Josh Allen in the divisional round to be 4-4 in the playoffs because it's Allen. That's Gematria 44. So the Ravens are going to get the Bills with former Bills cornerback Tre'Davious White. He will defeat his former team in the divisional round. I don't know what significance of the 16th playoff win in the divisional round for Patrick Mahomes. I don't know who's going to face off against yet. I don't think the Chiefs would be an interesting matchup, but I guess it all depends. So who finishes 6th and 7th? The Broncos going to miss the playoffs. The Colts are not part of the plan. So I think they'd have to play either the Bengals or the Jets. Either Cincinnati or the Jets. Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes, although Aaron Rodgers against Patrick Mahomes has lost its luster because just people see Aaron Rodgers as washed up. So I wonder if that means just like we never saw Goki LeBron against Kobe in the finals, did we? So let's roll back the tape. Let's roll back the timeline. 2009, I think it was. The Cavs won 66 games. The Lakers were on top. And it was the conference finals. And it was the Lakers in the West. It was the Cavs in the Magic. Well, the Cavs lost to the Magic, so we never ended up seeing Goki LeBron against Kobe. So based off of Goki LeBron against Kobe never happening, based off of Aaron Rodgers against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl never happening, then I think it is probably probable that Rodgers against Mahomes will probably not happen. Again, the numbers are there for the Jets to end their 13-year playoff drought because NYJ, New York Jets, is 13, and Aaron Rodgers came over from the 13-time NFL champion Green Bay Packers. But yeah, the Jets are going to beat my Cardinals this week, so they stay alive in that AFC playoff race. Now, they're not appearing on Sunday Night Football against the Colts. Instead, the Chargers-Bengals game is getting flexed onto Sunday Night Football. So I think next week is going to be a bounce back game. So assuming that it's Jim Harbaugh and this guy is not going to lose to the Tennessee Titans, the Chargers are going to be sitting at number 6 with a 6-3 record. The Broncos, now because the Bengals lost tonight, the Denver Broncos are not going to be in the running to upset the Chiefs. The Broncos will lose because they got destroyed by Baltimore, and the Broncos must be 5-5. So it means that the loss to the Ravens doesn't mean anything for Cincinnati because Cincinnati's still in the playoff race, and the Broncos by losing would be 5-5. And then the Bengals would be 4-6. So the Bengals are still alive in the postseason picture. And I probably go the Bengals to defeat the Chargers. The Bengals got to stay alive in that playoff picture. So again, the result of tonight's game is going to lead up to kind of what the NFL has planned for the AFC playoff race. So number one, the Chiefs game is first. So number one, Bengals lost. You have to keep the Bengals in it. Chiefs defeat the Broncos. So the Broncos are 5-5. The Bengals are 4-6. The Bengals are still within the game. So tonight doesn't mean anything if you're a Cincinnati Bengals game because if you're a Bengals fan, because the NFL has you protected to keep and maximize fan interest. So number one, Chiefs are going to win, so they're not going to lose before they face off against Buffalo. This is how you're going to sell Kansas City against Buffalo to the masses. And number two, Jets will win to stay alive. So both the Jets and the Bengals are 4-6, and both of them are a game outside of 7th place. So that interim coach storyline we've seen with the Raiders in 2021. Now you're talking about an improbable comeback for the New York Jets after losing their first 3 games with the interim coach can suddenly involve themselves in the playoff picture. So the Jets are going to beat the Cardinals. And that's pretty much the AFC playoff race in a nutshell. The Colts, the Bengals, and the Jets will all be 4-6. The Colts, the Bengals, and the Jets will all be within a game of 7th place, where the Denver Broncos would be 5-5. In that NFC spot right here, you have to have the Cardinals lose against the Jets, not only so the Jets stay alive in the playoff picture, but number two, the Cardinals losing means that the Rams will play for first place in the LA market on Monday Night Football against a Dolphins team that is 0-2 since Tua's return. So the fix is in for the Jets to beat the Cardinals. So you make things interesting for the Rams on Monday Night Football against the Miami Dolphins. Now, I like the setup for that because the Dolphins had a bye week, they're 2-6, so they're 3-6 now with Tua. They're a game and a half away from the wild card spot. So now these two Jets-Dolphins matchups are going to be big, high-stakes matchups. So what was it? Week 17, Week 18, I believe the Jets faced the Dolphins, I think, in the first week of December. So the Rams will play for first place, but I think there's a compelling case to have Miami. They played one less game because they've had their bye week. Miami can be 3-6. I think the Dolphins play the Raiders. So I think that's what the NFL has planned, which is going to kind of lead up to the next week's Rid Games feature. So, of course, we are talking about that Sunday Night Football game. We're talking about the Jets staying alive. And, let me see who the Broncos play next week. Now, that 49er game against the Bucs is no automatic for San Francisco to win. I know I predicted San Francisco before, but it's possible for Tampa Bay to win that game. But, of course, I knew the Bengals would lose because they play a game against the Broncos in December. When they beat the Broncos are going to be out of playoff contention, and the Broncos would lose a head-to-head tiebreaker against the Cincinnati Bengals. So, Week 11, the Jets would win, but then the Jets are going to eliminate the Colts for good. Aaron Rodgers is not losing against a Colts team. It's not the same Joe Flacco story from last year. He had the big game against the Steelers. He had the big game against the Jaguars. But after last week, I think the writing's in the wall for Joe Flacco. He'll be retired after this year. But yeah, if the Dolphins beat the Rams, which I did go with Miami, they'll beat the Raiders next week, and suddenly the Dolphins are going to stay in the playoff picture. And the Dolphins play the Patriots the very next week, too. Wow. The Dolphins are going to suddenly win 3 straight games now. Just watch. The Dolphins, NFL wants this. They've planned this Dolphins comeback. Either Dolphins or Jets for the last playoff spot. Probably. It's going to get interesting. It's going to get very interesting. And ultimately, that's what makes the games interesting is players are not playing to just get the offseason going or tank for the general manager to have a much better draft pick. The Dolphins are in the playoff picture. The Jets are in the playoff picture. The Bengals are still alive. This is what needs to happen for the NFL to maximize fan interest. Do you think the Dodgers can beat the Chargers? Well, one is baseball and one is football. The Chiefs, I have them losing against Buffalo. I never said when they would lose their first game. Oh, you're from a East Coast, so I like that East Coast accent. I know how my family sounds sometimes. I like saying it with the uhs, like Al Davis. Chiefs undefeated. I mean, if Tom Brady never went undefeated, are they going to ever have that happen? I don't know. Interesting. Mahomes is born on the 17th day of the year. Wait, it's 18-0, isn't it? Oh, yeah, 17-0, 19-0. So that's 20-0. I really believe this. I think if you have the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, that a lot of maggots out there will not watch football again. They have a big upset. Not every year they have a really big upset, but of course the number 1 seeds, the Chiefs and Eagles, they made it, but nobody was on Chiefs and Eagles like we were for the entire postseason that year. But the TV guys all had Eagles. I think it was all by design. In the AFC title game, most people had Bengals over the Chiefs, but we kept it real over here. It was always going to be Andy Reid, former Eagle coach, State Farm commercial, Patrick Mahomes. That was always going to be that Super Bowl. And then, of course, the Chiefs are never going to lose against the Bills. They were never going to lose against the Ravens. They were never going to lose against the 49ers. everything worked out for me in Kansas City in the last two playoff years in the months of January and February. Now, this year, I just happen to think they'll lose. We'll see if it happens. Or we will see if they really do win another Super Bowl. But the Chiefs are here to stay. So let me take a look at since now it's clear that Ravens and Chiefs is the AFC title game. What would the AFC championship game? Of course, now Bills and Ravens to meet in the divisional round is the plan. AFC championship game Wikipedia. Again, I have an on-screen keyboard. I'm clicking the keyboard keys with my mouse, and again, that was kind of how election night went. Pretty much, that was going to foreshadow how the rest of the night was going to go after I spilled water on my keyboard. So I'm waiting for a new key. I don't use Twitter anymore since the little Elon guy bought Twitter. I mean, fuck him. He's a joke, man. All these freaking elitists out there just this guy wants to censor speech that he doesn't like. He cries foul about censorship, but anyways, it's a joke. I'm not a fan of Elon at all. Other news, Bronny James is now to the G League. His on-court statistics are scripted by design. So when you see 3.3 minutes per game, that's referencing 33 as the highest degree of masonry. And this is the year of the Lakers' 33rd appearance in the finals. And he is leaving the Lakers temporarily the 33 days after his birthday. 25 days left in October after his birthday. Tomorrow is the 8th day of November. He will be on the sideline tomorrow night, but he will not play. But he is off to the G League where he is going to play on Saturday and suit up against Salt Lake City. So basically, when the Lakers, what did the article say when? What was it when the Lakers are on the road? Is when Bronny stays home and plays in the G League. But of course, it's all about player development, and you want to have Bronny play as many games so he continues to develop as a player. So again, it's not a surprise. It was always the plan to have LeBron James play some games with Bronny James, but of course, the bigger picture is Bronny continuing to develop as a player and to continue to get used to the speed of the game, which is much different than the speed of the game on the college level. So it is not about catering to LeBron's ego of wanting to play for his son. It's still about the development of Bronny James. So let me go back to the article. They've assigned Bronny James to their G League affiliate. He will be on the Lakers roster for Friday's game, then will rejoin South Bay. The current plan of the Lakers and for Coach Redick and Gokin LeBron and Bronny James and Rob Pelinka is for James to play in only G League home games as he shuttles between the Lakers and South Bay. So he's only going to play the home games, it looks like, with South Bay. He'll play the home games with South Bay. When they're on the road, then he's back on the roster having fun with his father. His father's communicating. His father continues to work on him on the practice court. So he is shuffling back and forth between the G League and the Lakers, getting game time and still partaking in practices with his Lakers teammates. And JJ said last month this was the plan since day one. I wasn't aware of his comments from the prior month, but this was always the plan from the get go to continue the player development. But he is number 6. No, he's number 9. But he's born on the 6th day, and Goki Laban, his family has a big enigma with the number 6. And Bronny has 6 field goal attempts during his first stint with the Lakers. And again, it's the 6th ring for Goki LeBron James. It is LeBron, that's 6 letters. He ties Michael and Kareem 6 years after the bubble championship. The bubble championship was won 6 years after he left Miami. He won the championship with Cleveland 6 years after he left Cleveland the first time around. He won the repeat 6 years after his first appearance in the NBA Finals. I'm just watching the replay. They got the game on. I'm watching the game. I'm watching it go. I always watch the replays of the Thursday games. I don't watch the Thursday games live. I did know that there's a prospect of potentially the Bengals staying alive in the divisional race, but again, the NFL has scripted Lamar to be regular season MVP and Super Bowl MVP. Jared Goff is making the case. He certainly is. I think they'll be biased towards Lamar Jackson to win MVP because he's played in the Tutter Conference. That's my 10 cents. Yeah, Eagles going to destroy the Cowboys on Sunday, right? They're going to destroy them. They should win by more than a touchdown. I don't care if Cooper Rush is 5-1 as a starter. Just different team. It wasn't the 12-win teams. I mean, this is a different team. So reality is going to come kicking in for the Cowboys. Cooper Rush is not a better player. He just had better teams. And again, that Cowboy rush defense is porous. Saquon Barkley is going to run. He's going to run riot on that Cowboy defense. You've seen Derrick Henry. This Cowboy rush defense, I think it was after a turnover or a blocked punt or something like that. Falcons only ran running plays on this touchdown drive. They practically only ran running plays. The Cowboys couldn't stop a nosebleed. It's Saquon Barkley, a former Giant, now with the Eagles. I don't know the stats of how Saquon does against Dallas, but he's going to destroy Dallas. And again, the Eagles have to win that game against Dallas, so I think they play on Thursday, right? Now, the Eagles are 4-1 at home, right? The Commanders are going to beat the Eagles because Commanders is 42. Phillies or the Eagles fall to 4-2 at home, right? Commanders is 42. They have to fall to 4-2 at home. That's number one. Number two, if the Commanders beat the Eagles, the Commanders will continue to put pressure on the Lions for the number 1 seed. That's number 2. The Lions' only loss of the year occurred against, I should remember who they beat. Who did the Lions lose to? They beat everyone in the division. I knew they lost to the Cardinals. Yeah, they lost again. They beat us, I should say. They beat us. Who the Lions lose to? How can I forget? I predicted them to beat the Cowboys, and I completely forgot it. I didn't realize it was Jerry Jones' birthday. I should watch the highlights how they handled the Titans. 52 points. Jared Goff can play quarterback. Yeah, I know I like the Ravens, but I completely understand the storyline for the Chiefs and the Lions. It's a really good one if the Lions, they just like fucking these teams though when they put them in the Super Bowl like that. I mean, it was Cinderella back in 2008 for the 9-7 Cardinals and Kurt Warner, his resurrection, but didn't happen, man. Didn't happen. Instead, the Steelers got that 6th Super Bowl. I think something similar is going to happen to the Lions. Yeah, and I think it's a very healthy betting market for the Super Bowl because the two most bet teams are the Lions and the Chiefs. So which side are you on? Dynasty or is this team's going to lose? Again, there's always the danger. MAGA celebrates Taylor Swift losing, or white supremacy and Trump celebrate black guy Lamar losing against blue-eyed Patrick Mahomes. Yes, they call him black, but he's got some white features. And he talks like Kermit the Frog. You don't talk black. You see, this is the hidden white supremacist ritual with Patrick Mahomes being the face of the league instead of Lamar Jackson. This game was dope. The kicker missed an extra point. They went for 2 to make up for the lost extra point. 280 receiving yards, and they still lose. Jamar Chase for 3 touchdowns. Now, I had him to score a touchdown and to get over 85 receiving yards because obviously the Ravens secondary is porous. Ravens secondary against Patrick Mahomes or against a Josh Allen or against a Jared Goff playing like an MVP where Lamar Jackson has to carry them is a very compelling storyline. Let's kind of flip to the NBA a little bit. You can see where they scripted the Cavaliers 9-game win streak. Cavaliers is 90 and the Nets is 91. So Cavaliers will be 9-1 before they face off against the Nets the following week. There's something symbolic about these all-purple uniforms for the Ravens. Purple's a color of royalty. Now, Ravens does have gematria of Trump, but just 25. Let's just use this opportunity to see where the red football games are taking us. Let's look at conference standings. The Bills are going to be 6-2 in the conference. Patrick Mahomes is 62. They'll be 6-2 with the win over the Colts are playing this week. Do the Chiefs beat the Bills, honestly? Do they beat Buffalo? The Chiefs would improve to 6-0 against the conference if they do defeat the Buffalo Bills, because the Buffalo Bills is Camacho 60. So you have to pay attention to that record against the conference. So the Buffalo Bills is 60. If the Chiefs defeat the Broncos and defeat the Bills, they can be 6-0 against the conference. I mean, that's what's in play. So their win streak is at 14. I know end is Camacho 14. I know win streaks end at 14 sometimes, but here with number 15, he has 15 playoff wins in his career. Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs win streak will extend to 15 games. Josh is Camacho 16. The Chiefs are going to go for their 16th consecutive win against Josh Allen, and it's Josh that's Camacho 16. So they are going to go for a 16th consecutive win against Buffalo. Going to play for a 16th consecutive win. When you say you play for a 16th consecutive win, it means you're not necessarily saying they're going to win that game, but they're going to go for a 16th consecutive win. So this means they're beating the Broncos this week. This will not be a what you call a parlay buster game where this big money line I added to my parlay. Oh, they lost. And it did happen throughout the season. 49ers Cardinals was a game that was a so-called parlay buster. 49ers against the Vikings was a parlay buster game. 49ers against the Rams was a parlay buster game. So the two divisional games. The Ravens-Browns game was a so-called parlay buster game. Are we going to see any parlay buster game this week? Or if it doesn't, then it will just happen the following week. So this is the contingent conclusion we must reach based off of what happens this week. Going for 2 is the right call because the NFL is rigged. Going for 2, knowing that the NFL has planned the Chiefs beating the Broncos, means you gotta beat the Chargers, and suddenly Cincinnati, it doesn't mean anything. It didn't end their season tonight. So, question you might have is, if the Bengals beat the Chargers and they have a head-to-head tiebreaker, who do they play the next week? And let's, I think the Steelers, being the team that they are, setting up marquee matchups. Steelers-Ravens obviously is a marquee matchup, but Joe Burrow against a Steelers team that's only lost 2 games, those are marquee games. This ain't the AFC North. You see, the Bengals have to beat the Chargers before they play the Steelers the next week. They have to. I think they do have to beat the Chargers. And now the Bengals against the Cowboys without Dak the Hack Prescott. They play the Cowboys after they play the Steelers. Joe Burrow in Cincinnati against the Steelers in the final week of the season. Get your motherfucking popcorn out. The Bengals have the chance to play for a playoff spot against the Steelers in the last week of the season. And sit back and enjoy the show, baby. Enjoy the show. I think I should map out the projections and kind of, line up the records in the table just based on contingent matchups on a week-to-week basis. There's no doubt the NFL in their shareholder meetings, in their owner meetings, are talking about which games do we need to have fixed so we keep this playoff table very interesting with many high-stakes dramatic games towards the final weeks of the season. When they have these in-season meetings, they're planning the games that they want to be rigged. I think they probably have this stuff all figured out before the year, right? Since it's all WWE, they probably have it all mapped out before the year starts, right? Some things they may not be aware about, just how teams are, whatever. Sometimes they may have to discuss that kind of thing in these shareholder meetings. So I don't. Let me just say. Let me go back to the election. So Donald Trump is already a lame duck president. Why? The 22nd Amendment to the U.S. Constitution says that you cannot run for a third term. Now, if he's still alive, I am nervous because this whole time the right wing was telling me that Obama was running for a third term. What would they say if Donald Trump ran for a third term? Great question. It should be discussed. Will he try to run for a third term and be installed as president and king and dictator of the United States, oligarchical states of America? Oh, he's obese. He's 300 pounds. He's got to die of a heart attack or something, surely, before that becomes reality. Don't worry. I'm still waiting for the official vote, the final vote counts to be casted. So they're still counting lots of votes in California. So pretty much I'm doing a comparative analysis from how many votes Harris lost compared to when she was vice president in 2020, and how many additional votes Donald Trump will get, because only 55% is reported. Of course, California is the most populous state in America, so no analysis over the results of the election can be complete until after we get 99% reported as far as election results. So Donald Trump is at 73.4%, but he had 74 million votes in 2020. So as of the results right now, he hasn't gained any additional voters. So this is how broken the system is. Oh yeah, I was supposed to go to my AFC championship table. Historic AFC championship game records. The Chiefs are 4-3 in the AFC title game. They're 3-2 at home. So will they fall to 3-3 like Gematria Patrick, or is it going to be 4-2 and 42 is the Gematria of the N Ward and 42 is Gematria of Commanders? That was Doug Williams' team, the Commanders. The Ravens are 2-3. They'll probably be 3-3 in the AFC Championship game. It's Patrick. That's Gematria 33. Of course, 33 is always a significant number to Masonry. Again, they didn't fall to 3-3 in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs, they're 4-2 instead of 3-3 because they defeated the 49ers a second time. So Patrick Mahomes, let's see here. He's 4-2 in the conference championship. If he falls to 4-3, then it's champion. That's 43. In Las Vegas, Nevada's 43, the site of last year's Super Bowl. 43 would be Gamachia's GOAT. 5 wins in 7 games. Should he win the conference title, would be the championship number. If Patrick Mahomes makes it to the Super Bowl, he would enter with 17 wins. He'd be going for an 18th win at the 18th admitted State of the Union should he make it to the Super Bowl. I wonder who the divisional opponent is. He'd be 7-0 in the divisional round. I can't think of any team or any quarterback that is Gamachia 70. 3 Pete's Gamachia of 18. If Patrick Mahomes makes it to the Super Bowl, he of course would play for an 18th postseason victory. It just so happens to be that he enters the playoffs with 41 career postseason touchdown passes, and 41's Gamachia Super Bowl, and he won the Super Bowl with his 41st career touchdown in the playoffs in his career. I wonder what Andy Reid's record is in conference title games as a coach. That with this record in Philadelphia and Kansas City, the Andy Reid conference title game record is going to be one of the most compelling pieces of the overall analyses. Because he coached a lot of conference championship games, and this includes Mahomes' first year as a starter, where they lost against the Patriots. Now, Lamar Jackson is number 8, and he's born on the 7th day of January. He's born on the 7th day of the year, and if they really script it by numbers, Andy Reid's 8th playoff loss as Chiefs coach could happen against Lamar Jackson. And if the Chiefs face off against the Ravens in the AFC Championship game, Andy Reid would be coming off of 8 consecutive victories in the NFL playoffs. So they're definitely syncing this script around Lamar's number 8, the 8 straight playoff wins. It's so crazy how this game went over. You're thinking cold weather, divisional defensive grind, and I guess Jamar Chase just turned this into a big chase. Just Jamar Chase was on fire, and Lamar Jackson had to keep up with Jamar Chase's performance. LA Lakers win the championship. I don't give a damn. The Bengals Super Bowl script is nothing but a psyop. And no matter what happens, I'm still going to go Bengals next year, okay? Joe Burrow is a comeback king. I know he is that guy. It doesn't matter if the Bengals don't have talent. The Bengals may be bad this year, but Joe Burrow how many weeks was it? 5 weeks or so. He was leading the league in touchdown passes. Joe Burrow is that guy. Simply enough. But he's not the guy that's going to pick up the comeback victories this year. That guy is Lamar Demetrius Jackson. You think about General Jackson, the Trail of Tears, the Cherokee Indians, the Trail of Tears kicking them out of their homelands. You think about the mass detention camps of all of the Latinos that's going to happen under Donald Trump's presidency. General Jackson, Andrew Jackson, Lamar Jackson, the War of 1812, the stalemate, they kicked the British out. General Jackson won the war at the Battle of New Orleans. General Jackson lead his men to victory at New Orleans this year. I think I've summarized my main points well. Scripted Dolphins win over the Rams. Doesn't eliminate the Rams, right? Cardinals winning on Monday Night Football. It kept them in the divisional race, and it didn't mean anything for the Chargers, did it? Because they had a pretty easy schedule against the Browns, and they got the Titans this week, right? So this is the kind of thing you have to look out for as far as NFL rigging is concerned. The 49ers losing against the Chiefs meant that the NFC West was wide open. It really doesn't matter how my Cardinals do against the Jets this week. They're going to get taken care of to play for playoff football in week 18. I will bet on the Jets against my Cardinals this week. Because the fate, the destiny is not with the teams and their practices. The fate and the destiny is with the owners and who the script is for the given week in action, right? So that's what's going to happen. The Jets are going to stay alive and be competing with the Bengals for the last playoff spot, and the Broncos will probably flame out of the playoff spot with a rookie quarterback. And they got destroyed by the Ravens. You don't want to make it obvious that the Broncos are going to flame out. You want to have the Bengals lose so you can extend it for another week. The Broncos still have a game lead. The Bronco fans be like, if it's a close game and they win by a score, or they only lose by 10 points and they don't lose by 20 or 30, then suddenly Bronco fans be like, we up a game, oh, we got this, we good, oh, the Bengals are not good, we have a better defense, and everything's fine because we play the Raiders again. That's what the NFL wants to do. Oh, yeah, Bengals, they don't play the Ravens anymore, but they have to get to the Steelers, right? These games going to be interesting. I don't know who the Steelers have faced as far as quarterback goes this year. How good are the Steelers? Can they handle elite quarterbacks? Against Washington, we're about to find out. The Steelers, they faced off against the Chargers, but Joe Burrow was injured. They didn't face Patrick Mahomes. They didn't face Lamar Jackson. They haven't faced Joe Burrow yet. Let's look at the NFC opponents for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They faced the Falcons, but that's week 1 with a new offense. So, right, that was going against Kirk Cousins there a little bit. New offense in week 1 is a recipe for disaster. They played some shit quarterbacks like Bo Nix in week 2, right? The Steelers, I remember. They played the Giants. They played the Raiders. Well, they played the Jets on a losing streak. The Jets were still reeling. They're on a losing streak. They played the Jets when they haven't found their way yet. They lost against the Dallas Cowboys. They lost against the Colts. This team's a pretender. I do like their defense. I do like their defense. I need to see how the Steelers do against an elite quarterback. However, I need to see how they do against the big bucks in the AFC. However, if they beat Jaden Daniels, suddenly the Steelers-Ravens matchup becomes box office. You have to sell me the Steelers against Lamar Jackson. How do you do that? You beat Jaden Daniels and you beat the 7-2 Washington football team. This is how you sell me the Steelers against the Ravens. I give up 35 points against the Bengals. How are they going to do against Pittsburgh, who beat Jaden Daniels? That is what makes it interesting. That is what I'm going to go with. Now. Okay, this. Lions have a new pass rusher, right? This guy's pretty good. Smith. You need insurance. You never know if any additional injuries. Hutchinson's not the only guy that's injured on the Lions. They have another pass rusher who got injured during the earlier weeks of the season. So you need insurance. And the Lions are playing great right now, but you got to account for insurance in case injuries happen. And that's what the Lions did by acquiring that pass rusher. And the Cardinals acquired a pass rusher from the Denver Broncos as well. So the trade deadline's about insurance against injuries. I never heard of the guy that they got from the Broncos, but he played for the Denver Bronco defense. He's probably better than the rest of the Cardinal pass rushers they have right now on the team. No disrespect to them. They work hard and all that. Well, I think the Bears just had a terrible offensive line that it made it easier for the Cardinals to rush the passer, but the Barbarian Gardeck is out for the year. No one knows him, but you like him here in Arizona. He's great, you understand. But Kyler Murray's excited. He's easy making things exciting right now. Conference record, the Lions are 6-1 against the conference. The Washington Commanders are 5-1 against the conference. So what makes this interesting is that which one are they going for? Are they going for the Steelers win before they face off against Lamar Jackson, or do they want Washington to win? And the Lions and the Commanders both have one loss. That's probably how it's read. Quite frankly, I don't think I can bet on the Washington-Pittsburgh game. I'm still having doubts even as of Thursday. Which direction are they going with? If the Ravens win by committee, do Steelers win? It may not be an automatic. Maybe Ravens lose against Steelers if they lose against Commanders, and Ravens beat the Steelers the second time around. So you got to account for all the possible scenarios in play, right? But a Washington loss would mean the Lions are playing with a 2-game cushion over second place in the conference. I'm just not going to bet on the Washington Steelers game, folks. I wish you luck if you do. I hope you do well. But for me, I'm just going to avoid the Washington Commander game. See where things are going based off of the direction after the outcome of that game. But hypothetically speaking, let's take into account the scenario here. If Washington loses against Pittsburgh, they'd be 7-3. If the Eagles defeat the Cowboys, they would be 7-2. Washington at 7-3 against a 7-2 Eagles team. Washington would beat Philadelphia to jump into first place with a generational quarterback. Now, if Washington loses, it'd make things interesting. It would. I don't think after the Aiden Hutchinson injury that the Lions can win the Super Bowl. They got to be cursed in a way. That if the Lions lose the Super Bowl, that people are going to wonder, what if Aiden Hutchinson was healthy? What if Aiden Hutchinson didn't get hurt? What if he didn't get hurt? I think if the Lions lose the Super Bowl, we're going to be asking this question for weeks, for months, for years, and decades. What if Aiden Hutchinson was healthy? What if he was that same player? Would the Lions have won the Super Bowl if Aiden Hutchinson was healthy? I think that's a very compelling storyline. I have action on the Lions to win the conference, but no action on the Lions to win the Super Bowl. I think the Lions should be playing the game. With or without a Chiefs Super Bowl victory, you have won on the NFL season if the Lions are playing in the Super Bowl. And if a lot of action was on the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl and the Lions for the NFL futures market, and more money will surely be placed on the Chiefs and the Lions. So if you go for the Lions to win the NFC at 4-1 and they win the NFC, then congratulations. You don't even have to predict the Super Bowl winner to have a winning year in NFL futures. Check it down, get 5 yards, 2nd and 5, live for a manageable second down. You still win. You still win on the Lions, make it to the Super Bowl, even if your Super Bowl winner don't win. I think people want to go big and go greedy, and they avoid betting on the conference, you know. You can make decisions on what you want to do with the Super Bowl should you win your conference bet in late January. I mean, you'll allow yourself to make some last-second decisions. Fourth and inches. What the hell happened on that play?
Officials coming, the line just takes a look at it, and yeah.
How about that? A little bit. Would you say that's risky? I mean, I know
I would say
you practice that, right? But the timing, I look what Joe Burrow does. Watch how Joe Burrow communicates.
I'd line up in shotgun on single back. I'd line up under center on single back on a 4th and inches situation to get a quick quarterback sneak.
Good snap by Cameras. There it is again. Another look. So they gamble, they go for it, get it, first down. Burrow retreats, the floater here, and nothing to do with the ground. There's no chance. Covers by Marcus Williams.
I've got some post-election specials. It's pretty much over. This guy's cooked. We've already seen a disastrous Donald Trump presidency. The voters are apathetic. They stopped caring. They've given up. That's what happened. There's nothing to be celebrated about with the election. Nothing. We, the American people, have deserved Bernie Sanders as president.
So 2 plays ago, he's a big hero. And a couple of plays later, he drops an easy throw there, 3rd and 15.
The Bears are playing a lot of multiple tight end sets tonight without T. Higgins. Particularly at times can almost be a receiver. I think one of the big losses is Eric Hall. He's out now. And it really is impacting how this offense can attack, but they're still trying to work through Sample Hudson and Gesicki into this game.
As we get to the 49 of Baltimore, Burrow against the brain. Ready to step it down. So he does nothing but a big game. Chases him down for a down.
This is the guy that they're waiting to start to become more violent in the pass game. And I'll tell you, this is a pretty good speed. It gives you an idea how he can run for a 305-pound man. If Joe Burrow can go, Joe starts to put it on, but it's too late. Knocks that ball loose, but it goes out of bounds.
Dynasty is Gematria 27. The Chiefs have 24 playoff wins. Should they get to 27, this would complete a three-peat. Seriously, it has to be a rivalry. Where's the remote?
7-7.
Let me get the remote. Let me explain it. I mean, I think we need to have a rivalry. Why not have Baltimore upset Kansas City? Now you have a real rivalry. Do the two teams play again in the 2025 season? Do they? Idiocracy 2024. Only in America can you be a felon and not be able to vote, but a freaking felon and become president. Like, what a fucking joke. But sorry ass state of affairs. I gotta be learning Italian, man. I gotta move out of this country within a decade. Gotta move out of here. It's over. It's over for this country. I need to jinx this country. I need to say it's over before it can correct itself. This is a joke. I don't know what the hell Latino voters were thinking about. I understand the concerns about inflation, but I don't get it. Donald Trump did nothing in 4 years. He couldn't even pass a single bipartisan infrastructure bill. Why the hell should anyone vote for Trump? I don't get it. I know what the Russians were doing. They purposely targeted the predominantly African-American polling sites so they could suppress the Democratic vote with fake bomb threats. Why is Donald Trump so silent for someone who won an election? They have to be hiding something. You want to tell me that a guy who lost the popular vote in the last 2 elections suddenly won the popular vote? We live in a kleptocracy. They just don't count every vote, and the results are fake. It is a fake scripted election. They counted every vote in 2020. But the billionaires want the tax cuts. They want all that good stuff to give them even more money and even more regulatory loopholes. Big tech, from Peter Thiel to Elon Musk, was in it with Donald Trump to rig this election, to give these guys all these tax breaks, to give them all these loopholes. The fix is in. I didn't see any Trump shirts, any Trump signs. They picked the freaking president. Nobody wanted this guy. He has received around the same amount of votes he had in 2020. The people whose ballots didn't get counted or they left it blank didn't vote for Trump after voting for Biden in 2020. This election was probably fixed if Donald Trump is awfully silent after he won this election. In places like Russia, the winner's already decided. Putin already won with over 70% of the vote. They don't even count the votes over there. If it can happen in Russia, if it can happen in Venezuela, it can happen in any country. Donald Trump was not legitimately elected. The Russians had a stake in undermining NATO. The billionaire class in America had a stake to extend the Trump tax cuts. These results were fixed. It would have been more believable if the popular vote was won by the slimmest of margins, or if Kamala won the popular vote, but the Electoral College was won for Donald Trump. Something's not adding up right. It's not adding up right. It's still very believable that people could have just omitted the general election, but it's not adding up. We've had record fundraising for Kamala Harris after the introduction of her candidacy in July. People left Donald Trump's rallies after an hour. Something's not adding up. Something just seems very fishy with the vote count. Democrats win elections when every vote casted is counted. Republicans win elections when votes that are casted are omitted and not counted. I could have surely believed Trump would have won because of non-votes when Kamala won the popular vote. Something's not adding up right. But I'm here to warn you guys, man. I've read Project 2025. It's bad. Abortion will be illegal throughout America. Women are going to pay for this. The corporate tax rate's going to be reduced to 18%. Wealthy families who make over $1 million are going to see a tax decrease. Working families making under $100,000 are going to see a tax increase after Donald Trump gains power. I'll pull up Project 2025 for you. I think anyone who's cheering for Donald Trump, I think I have a duty to read all 900 pages of Project 2025 to inform the public, because certainly the corporate media is not going to tell you guys what is in Project 2025. Billionaires don't care. There were PDFs available online for people to read the entirety of Project 2025 months before casting their votes. Billionaires just look at it like these people have had the opportunity to read through what we're going to do to them during these next 4 years. And that is why they show mass contempt for working people. Do people working check after check have time to read through this stuff? But your satanic, evil, sociopathic billionaire is going to be like, oh, they should have read through this stuff. We've told them what they're going to do. Fuck them. I don't feel any sympathy whatsoever. Let's do what you want to fucking do. Fuck him over big time. The next thing is, will Ivanka run as a Republican or as a Democrat? I think it's possible she could run as a Democrat if things are that bad on the Republican side. I've heard nothing from Ivanka Trump. I've heard nothing. If I heard nothing from Ivanka Trump, I think she is pragmatic. I think she would consider running on the Democratic ticket because before her father went into Republican politics, she was a liberal. Ivanka was a liberal. If Donald Trump bans abortion for women nationwide, Ivanka's going to run on the Democratic ticket. I never thought it'd be possible after right now, but she has distanced herself from her father. Certainly distanced herself from her father right after the insurrection of January the 6th of 2021. Go check out Fair and Balanced, man. I like that. I like that channel. I like it. We live in idiocracy. This is going to be the most difficult thing I'll ever do. It'd be easier to transition to Ireland or the UK, but I think culturally, I think I fit in Italian, so I got to learn the language. I got to be prepared for what life could end up being for Americans. We may not see the same country. We will not have it. The country will not be the same again. Vladimir Putin has congratulated the New World Order, where America can stay out of Russian wars, and these allies of Europe will never look at America as the same. And I think this is going to have repercussions with American trade with European countries. I think elections have dire consequences. I think people are just oblivious to the fact that if Donald Trump won in 2020, he would be blamed for the current inflation. It doesn't come down to the president, it comes down to the companies that continue to price gouge above the rate of inflation. America's been had. America's been conned again. This is a dark, dark chapter in this country's history. Hell on earth. Hell on earth. Hell on earth. Putin hails New World Order after Trump re-election. This is what Putin is referencing. Americans won't meddle in wars in Europe. Vladimir Putin knows that America is going to fuck over their allies. What would have been the consequence of inaction? Should Putin be close to touching even Germany? Well, American inaction in World War II would have meant that we would have been speaking Japanese or German. We would have learned to speak Japanese or German. America has fought deep up the asshole, royally. America is no longer a superpower. It is a finished country. Its education is far inferior to its educated counterparts in Europe. If America came calling for Europe, Europe would most likely say, sorry, you guys, we needed you. We needed you when we needed it the most, when Vladimir Putin was fucking over the region. And sorry, we're not going to help you anymore. I'm going to miss Joe Biden. His Build Back Better is a big, ambitious plan. We need ambitious vision from future leaders. But these kind of infrastructure bills take decades to be completed, to come to fruition. But now that the Republicans are in power, they may repeal the legislation, or they're not gonna leave aside the money for these projects to continue to come to fruition. America is hopeless. It's never been as more hopeless as it's become. The citizenry of this country had the ability to make things happen. Minority colored voters are voting for the racist bigot who discriminated against black tenants in his properties during the 1970s. America was warned what Project 2025 would do. To fully understand the scope of the entirety of Project 2025, you'd have to read through the entire document. So if there's roughly 60 days before inauguration, 900 pages. How many pages a day of the Project 2025 template would we have to read over? Honestly, I wish my friend Camismo or my Massimo is here. He's got the Italian flag on his Google page. I'm not sure if he's Juventino or not Juventino. I feel Juventus have become irrelevant. So, there haven't been Juventus videos for probably 4 years since Ronaldo was with Juventus. But anyway, he thinks he has to move back. I don't know if that's true, but there is a future to buy some of these houses in Sicily buy a home for $300. This is a very ambitious take. I could live in the country but still watch NFL football in the let's say 10 o'clock. What time would it be over there? So I'd have to probably watch football during the night. You get to walk, you get to have your exercise, you're not driving, you have to pick up pounds. There's a benefit to living in Europe. But at least they defend the motherland and they want to keep Italy Italian, which should happen. So I think they will preserve the culture. Man, what a game this was. It's playoff season when it's November. This is playoff season right there.
Burrow fires over the middle, caught, and that's going to make it a first down and goal.
That was just easy money on the over-under for receiving yards for Lamar Chase. Nothing's given. I haven't decided between the Bengals or the Jets to get the 7th spot. It's between Cincinnati and the Jets. I haven't decided. They could lose against Pittsburgh. They're out there on Rodgers during Week 18. When did the Jets play in the last week? Let me see.
And the young rookie delivers in the clutch here.
It'd be quite a story for the Jets and coach, really.
Each team is out at Tananas right now.
Dolphins and Jets, January the 5th. You know what? Miami and the Jets, the winner of that game is in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers to defeat Tua and the Dolphins to make it to the fucking playoffs. Dolphins, Jets, playing. Week 18.
So Hudson who took that snap from center on a 4th and 1 and made it, making his commitment very much built in this first half.
What a job as you'd expect. Give the offensive line credit because Joe Burrow looked left to Jamar Chase. He ends up being doubled. Once again, he's got to get away from some of the trouble. And then he finds Hudson who gets sat down there for a touchdown.
So 10 plays, 73 yards. Took him 3.5. McPherson now for the extra point. And the Bengals go up by a score of 14-7.
Marcus Williams ends up doubling Jamar Chase.
It went from 21 points to 69 points in a game. This second half was the game.
Hudson just sits in that soft spot of the zone. He's just squaring up to Burrow and just settling in a yard or two inside that goal line. Makes it an easy target. But somehow the Ravens defense lost him, miscommunicated, and you don't want to do that to number 9 once he gets out and breaks contain.
Second career touchdown catch for Hudson has been in the league for 5 seasons.
Bengals will be okay.
The Tampa Bay roster back in 20 when they won the Super Bowl. So 14-7.
The Notre Dame safety, Hamilton, he got injured. Ravens still won without their starting safety.
He's a perfectionist, as we mentioned before.
Talk about how back there waiting. Let the clock run a little bit. Just in case.
I wonder what the Camacho Ray Lewis is. He won 2 Super Bowls with the Ravens. He's a motherfucking legend.
Anytime. They end up giving him 40 seconds.
30 and no timeouts. Bailey, what you got?
Well, guys, the Bengals got in the end zone there while the Ravens.
I love the Ravens because I made the 49ers cry. I love the Chiefs because I made the 49ers cry.
Yeah, huge loss if he can't come back.
He does everything. He affects.
Ray Lewis, Ray is Camacho 17 and 44.
Nickel back to the safety spot, so you're going to have to use 2 or 3.
Ray Lewis is Camacho of Josh Allen. I wonder how old Ray Lewis is.
They go to the outside. This is short game.
Ray Lewis is Camacho of the Ravens. Ray Lewis is Camacho the 40th day of the year, which is February the 9th. Ray Lewis.
So Jackson ran 8 of 11, 51 yards.
I remember Ray Lewis' Super Bowl run. He was praising Jesus during every game. He took PEDs. He got suspended. Ray Lewis came back, and then Ray Lewis' last game was the Super Bowl where the Ravens won. It was right out of the WWE playbook. He was singing, "Kumbaya, I love, pray, Lord Jesus, our Lord, lead Jesus." I remember it was 2013, Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis, Jesus. I remember it.
Super Bowl year, very highly sought after assistant coach. A lot of people thought he'd be a head coach. I know he got some interviews. But then all of a sudden he went from one of the hot assistants to a guy under the gun because the Cincinnati defense was
Playoffs.
as well as people would expect.
Yeah, I think you guys do realize he's one of the top assistants out there.
He didn't play a great Super Bowl, but Ray Lewis won at the end.
Earlier, a couple years ago.
3rd and 7. Jackson floats one. Andrews gets out of bounds. Then he got a flag down. Still outside of field goal range. We'll see about the penalty.
It's not a definite conclusion to be made. I have to look into who gets the 7th seed, but if it's Joe Burrow, Bengals will probably make it. I could be wrong, but without looking into it, I'd say Joe Burrow's going to do something magical, save their season. What were they, 0-3 to make the playoffs? 14 weeks left. Andy Dalton, number 14, former Bengal. They played the Panthers. I think the Bengals get into this playoff picture. It's Joe Burrow. He's a top 5 quarterback. They have to make it to the playoffs.
The ball to the middle of the field, but not enough time right there. That's the end of it.
Mike Hilton, the nickel, makes a heck of a play there in space. That was a race to see who was going to get there. He got Johnson before he could get out of bounds. Zay Flowers tried to make the block. Heck of a job there by the Denver and Hilton.
So it's 14-7. Bengals, we go to Kelly.
Well, Zach, your offense has controlled time of possession 2-1. What do you need to see from them in the second half?
Lamar Jackson's going to shock the world. Like, this motherfucking Donald fucking Trump shocked the world after this motherfucking weak-ass, garbage-ass election. I don't give a damn what anyone says. There's no way he won the freaking popular vote. Shit is fucking rigged. It would have been more believable if he lost the popular vote, but still won the election, which he did in 2016. This shit is not believable. Big Tech and all these Republicans probably found a way to rig the result.
USPS employees
22nd Amendment, he's gone. He can't serve a third term.
The United States Postal Service.
Lowe's knows it's easier to make the right calls when you have the right team. McCaffrey looking lost.
Man, looking for a what? I'm looking for a lawnmower. Could you play with aisle 27?
Find what you need faster with the Lowe's app.
Wakey, wakey. Sunday morning football is back in Germany. And NFL Network has an NFC clash live from Allianz Arena in Munich.
This is the biggest irony. There was nothing rigged about 2020. Everything was rigged about 2024. Everything.
Sunday at 9:30, only on NFL Network.
There is more enthusiasm for Kamala Harris in her rallies, but somehow he won the popular vote. No, I suspect foreign interference played a role in this election.
Lamar Jackson. It's the first time the Ravens have trailed at the half by more than 50.
Is it because of Catholicism and traditionalism that these Latino men out there, they don't think a woman should be president? I don't think I'm going to buy that so much. What was their vote for Hillary Clinton in 2016? Let's compare Latino men for Clinton in 2016 compared to Kamala in 2024. Let's compare that. But the media is ready to label that Latino man. They think the woman should be in the kitchen. It's traditional gender roles and Catholicism, Catholicism, women can't be the priest and all that, So, and that's what Mexicans tell me, That's what they tell me sometimes.
Well, Coach, Cincinnati controlled the ball. How do you get them off the field?
We got to go third down for sure. A little too much Joe scrambling.
Why women just voted with their husband?
Your offense only had one drive longer than 4 plays. How do you sustain
I think the general public has no clue about how inflation works. People would have blamed Trump for today's inflation if he won in 2020. I don't think the public they're lazy with this. The general public doesn't know better. I'll tell like it fucking is, because the president has little to no control over prices. Corporate America has all of the controls over the prices.
Offense number 77.
Daniel Lele.
That's a frustrating holding call, obviously, but not just to start the half, but it was unnecessary. Lamar Jackson was already away from B.J. Hill, and the big fella, he probably weighs 410 pounds.
Part of the grifting GOP scam is that Donald Trump in 2020 made a historic oil deal with Saudi Arabia to limit the production of oil barrels all the way up to 2023. Donald Trump is trying to influence the 2024 election based off of that oil deal. The world, everybody knew, would be opened by 2021, but Donald Trump is here saying we will limit production all the way up to 2023. It's Donald Trump that's to blame for these gas prices. But your average fucking loser doesn't know any better. The average person can't keep up with the news like I can. The average person is misinformed. They're not as informed as I am, as the average person who keeps up with the current events and the political news. This is why ignorance prevailed in this election.
So that time, Deontay Johnson, a couple of years ago, was the number one receiver in Pittsburgh.
But, as Senator Amidala said, as Padme said, democracy dies in thunderous applause. Fascism became very real. Now let me open the Project 2025 page from Kamala's campaign site. Again, she's a piece of shit. But people have to understand that she's far better than Donald Trump in every capacity. All these racist Republican garbage of he's unqualified. She's a prosecutor. She was a senator. She was an attorney general. Donald Trump had no government experience before he gained power. Is that white privilege or is it not white privilege?
Not a ton of yeah, that makes sense. We'll decline it.
Again, I am not out of touch with what is happening. I am paying higher prices for groceries. You are too, but I'm saying we're going to pay higher prices under Donald Trump. I've already lived through an entire Trump presidency. Insanity is repeating the same result and expecting different results.
Combination of them just kind of being out of sync, and the Bengals deserve a lot of credit for the way they're playing tonight.
Scott's fourth punt of the night. Short kick, fair catch, call for made at the 33. You make a great point here. You got to go back, like the greatest show on turf.
Yeah.
The Rams back in 2000.
Yeah.
And what they were doing, of course, they were Marshall Faulk. You're looking at the Ravens are a team that came in second in scoring and first in total yardage.
Yeah, really every aspect, third down, passing, rushing, so balanced, so explosive. But tonight, not only have they not been on the field a lot, but they've been behind the sticks.
That touchdown was scored very quick,
15,
right?
3rd and 19. Just not found their rhythm.
And averaging about 4.5 yards per play. Burrow fires, caught, chase. They're going to chase him down.
No one tried to tackle him. No one tried to tackle Jamar Chase. That was a scripted touchdown. Nobody even tried to dive and swipe at his legs or anything, man. This is WWE.
On their first play of the second half, and now the Ravens are put in a 2-touchdown hole.
Watch the linebacker play, and it's been a weakness of this Baltimore defense in coverage.
I wonder what the money line was at that certain time in the game.
From a timing standpoint, and then this is just next level. Probably the best in the league, almost a running back skill set to pull away from the Ravens. He did it in week 5 in Cincinnati, does it again here on a Thursday night with the Bengals up by a couple of scores.
Jamar Chase. Chase is Camacho 36. Joe Montana, the most legendary 49ers quarterback, is Camacho 36. The Super Bowl 24 victory over the Bengals for the 49ers. They're hosting Super Bowl 16. 36 years after Super Bowl 24 is when the Bengals will win in Super Bowl 16. I can excuse the Cuban and the Puerto Rican men, but the Mexican men, it's like Donald Trump fucking trashed your entire freaking culture. It's like any Mexican guy who voted for Donald Trump, you guys are a joke. Donald Trump said, they're not breaking their best. They're not sending you. They're sending people with lots of problems. And they're bringing these problems with us. They commit crime. They're murderers. They're rapists. And some, I assume, are good people. If you are a Mexican guy voting for Donald Trump, get your head out of your asshole. He fucking degenerated, you motherfuckers, in 2016. What the hell's wrong with you? Seriously. Trump didn't trash the Cubans or the Puerto Ricans, but he certainly trashed the Mexicans. If you're a Mexican voting for Donald Trump, You're just a retard. Seriously. You're a fucking retard. What the hell's wrong with you? Trump never trashed. Well, what did he say about Puerto Rico? Live in idiocracy. How the hell is this possible? This election had to be rigged.
In that span. So when Joe tells us he's playing the best ball of his career now, he may just be getting started.
Vote freaking Libertarian or Green Party if you fed up with Kamala, man. Why are you voting for the freaking fascist grifter? Seriously. And the corporate media was blaming white women for the election loss, man. Why are they blaming white women for this? Trump lost votes among white women. What are they blaming white women for? Why aren't they blaming Latino men for this fake-ass, bitch-ass, fucking machismo image when Donald Trump is a faggoty-ass, whiny-ass bitch who claims everyone's out to get him? He's a fucking fag. Nobody whines as much as Donald Trump. Now let me show you exactly what I have right here. Again, it's called Italian for Dummies. Learn the language, fit in with the ultra cultures, at the soccer matches, fit in with the Juventinos. Know what real Italian food is, not what Italian American food is. They have a lot of sauce in the pasta. They omit the taste of the pasta in America. So this is what happens when Donald Trump is elected, is that elections have consequences. You need to move before shit hits the fan. Shit really hits the fan when people have no fucking clue and they want to re-elect Donald Trump another time.
Yeah, and they line him up over here with Jamar Chase. Let Jamar Chase get downfield. They widen out. Look at the voids in his zone. Underneath zone coverage for the Ravens, a major problem, and Burrow just capitalizing on that space.
Hudson has scored 6 on 7 targets. And after the 27-yard line goes Chase Brown. So Brown, after that heavy workload 3 days ago, 27 carries, 10 tonight for 34 yards. Again, they also gave him some backup help with Herbert. He was in for one play, fumbled in the last time we saw him.
Yep.
Second and 5. Brown again. Ball is out. Ball is out. Ravens think they have it.
What happened in that fumble?
Brown again. Ball is out. Ball is out. Ravens think they have it. They do. Knocked away by Marlon Humphrey. He created it. And then Roquan Smith, number 0, comes away with it.
And with Kyle Hamilton down, the leaders are Marlon Humphrey and Roquan Smith. They got to make a play. You can see they're ripping it at football. Great job by 44 Humphrey. Knew exactly what he needed to do, attack the football. And the veteran, Roquan Smith, sees it, gets on top of it. It's a free ball, anybody's ball, but it bounced right 2-0 for the Ravens, and now they give Lamar Jackson great field position.
Exactly what Baltimore needed. 7 minutes to go in the third. So Lamar, after flexing his hand on the bench, fires over the bench. And that'll be an 8-yard gain for Bateman. We go to Kaylee.
Well, guys, it looked like the Ravens' head athletic trainer was examining the back of Lamar's right throwing hand and his wrist. But the second that that trainer left his side on the bench, one of Lamar's teammates came up and gave him a heck of a handshake with the right hand. And Lamar didn't flinch. That looked like the best sign to me that he'd shaken it off.
It's a heck of a test. Not even a first play. 2nd and 2. Henry. There he goes. For the 12-yard line. His best gain of the night. So the Ravens trying to capitalize on perhaps something we lost. Last year, all season long, the Bengals only lost 2 fumbles all season. This year, 6 so far.
Great block here by McCary, actually frees this up. Gets him up to that second level. We've not seen him be able to get downhill, build that momentum up. That's when he did it.
Here he goes again. And a passel of white shirts is right there to greet him, led by Hilton and Wilson. 10 carries, 40 yards for Henry tonight. 2nd and 9. Going to go back to the end of the 2021 season. Largest deficit in a home game for this team. Just for skill in the backfield. Send him out to the right. Jackson backing up, backing away, under pressure, and down the sideline he goes. Lamar Jackson, can he see him goes all the way? He stuffed inside the one. Name somebody else right now who can do that.
Nobody. Nobody. As much as he and his offense have improved with their passing game, when a game is on the line, you better get him down. B.J. Hill,
Who's the offensive coordinator for the Ravens?
Once he got out of it, maybe some of the defenders thought he was out of bounds, but look at him.
This Lamar Jackson is electric.
Good blocks downfield, big center, Linderbaum. Look at Hill giving you an effort.
How does Lamar Jackson handle these blitzing schemes from Steve Spagnuolo? Lamar Jackson won't run. He's going to throw. He's going to make the Chiefs pay for blitzing him. Lamar has no excuses this time around in the AFC Championship.
The veteran rips the ball out from Chase Brown. Heck of a play by him. Roquan Smith, 2 vets make the play. And that's all Lamar Jackson is there needed.
They get a big break. So 31 yards, 5 plays. Tucker to the point after. And the 4-12 left in the third. Bengals 21. Ravens 14. Thursday night football.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
NyQuil Vapor Cool?
It's NyQuil plus Russia Vicks Vapors.
NyQuil Vapor Cool. The vaporizing, nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, best sleep with a cold medicine.
Hey, team, come on in.
Hey, Ben.
There's more food in the kitchen.
Where's Eli?
Eli, looks like we're running low on slider rolls.
Don't worry. I'm guys my team, too. Your team.
Looks like Eli's fave slider Sunday.
Again.
Really? King's Hawaiian Slider Sunday.
The only way to Sunday.
With the know-it-all lacks in time spent on Earth, it makes up for in time spent watching football.
These days, offense wins championships.
Again, we do have free will to influence our own elections. Now, what is not free will is the fact that both the Republican Democratic tickets are bought and paid for, but the people themselves do have free will over the election. I don't know how the hell he won the popular vote when he lost the popular vote the last two elections. This is a kleptocratic country that we live in nowadays. Fuck Donald Trump and fuck the racists and fuck the Kamala Harris is not qualifying. Come on. Guys are scum, literally. She's black and Asian and Indian. She didn't stand a chance against racism. Let's be real. White people voted with racism. Has to be said. It is what it is. They didn't vote based off of logic. They voted based off pure emotion and racism and hatred. How do you think the majority of black people felt? Oh, you would think that over 30% of black people would vote for Donald Trump, but no, it's still 86-14. Black people are intelligent. They know better. They know better than to hear these racist dog whistles from Donald Trump. They know better. They know he discriminated against black people trying to apply for housing on his properties in the 1970s and the 1980s and all of that.
Almost hits that to Jamar Chase, but the pressure just enough there for the Ravens.
Hey, loser Donald Trump supporters are mediocre. I think these Latinos voting for Trump, they see themselves as white and not as Latino, especially those with white skin. The way that we look at the census is going to change when we reach 2030. Latinos who are otherwise Latino are going to list themselves as white.
I mean, if you would have taken that into the end zone, that's one of the plays of the year. Somehow of gaining the first down, and if anybody can do it, it's Lamar Jackson. What a play!
I'm not all right familiar with the casta system of racial classification throughout colonial Spanish history, but the way that we look at population demographics is going to change when Latinos will classify themselves as white. He could be 60% white, he could be 70% white, but he doesn't see himself as a minority. That is why they're voting for Trump. They think they're superior than the black man. It is racism on these part of these Latinos who see themselves as white and not part of the group of blacks. Again, it's pathetic because Donald Trump wants to deport anyone who is not white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. These people have been had. I can't wait to read through Project 2025. I have the PDF saved in my list of favorites. I will read through the entire document. Whoa, no one tried to tackle him. And how does 3rd and 2 result in the touchdown?
We just said, which one of these wide receivers is going to make a play? We brought up Bateman, we brought up Flowers. Instead, it's Wallace who ends up getting away from his defense.
You guys need to listen to Fair and Balanced, Tom Hartman. These are the real deal.
Safety Keno Stone comes over late. What an effort by Tom Wallace to take that all over the end zone. Here's a great look to see if he stayed in bounds. Right here when Wilson hits it, it comes very close.
Oh, look at that, the right foot.
Oh, that's the one they'll look at. Every other step he took.
He's in. He's in for the touchdown.
It was that one right foot. It was close.
Almost looked like the toe was in, the heel was up.
Right.
That's what they're looking at right now. If it stands, it's 84 yards.
Ha ha, Google. Ha ha, funny, Google. You have me pictured with my Italian for Dummies book.
Look at this.
Now you're right.
You have everyone thinking I'm going to move away from the country immediately. No.
That foot looks like it's on the white line. With that heel up, you're good.
Look at that.
What a turn.
Little good toucher for the point after. And of all the guys, no. Justin Tucker. Wow. Go figure that baby out. 21-20 Cincinnati.
I didn't have to spend my life trying to find my calling. Mine found me at an early age. It was just a matter of how good I could get and how far I would go.
At Ram, our calling is to build
Picture changed to a different.
Nothing can stop you from answering it.
Right now, during the Ram Black Friday sales event, get $4,000 cash allowance on the purchase of most 2025 Ram 1500 trucks.
Oh, there it is. Italian for Dummies, you see? Move out of this fucking cesspit of America. Fuck 4th of July. Fuck that shit. These people willingly voted for a felon and an insurrectionist.
Here we go. 7 non-stop hours of game-changing fantasy winning, conversation-making football on up to 8 screens at once.
Wow, what a play!
See every touchdown from every game. Every Sunday afternoon during the regular season. You're gonna love
The world is not going to see America as the same anymore. They willingly re-elected Donald Trump as president, but majority of people didn't even vote.
The Forrest Gump of the NFL. It seems like whenever something major happened in the league, that he was a part of it. He was a giant in more ways than one.
Time for the reliability report presented by Xfinity Internet. And what a job, those 3 plays by this Ravens defense. Marlon Humphrey rips that ball out, gives Lamar Jackson great field position. The Ravens were able to capitalize on it with Derrick Henry's touchdown. And how about Wallace? How about Wallace somehow stays in bounds? 2 defenders come over a little bit late. He goes the distance. Thought they might tie it up. They missed the extra point. They're 1 point away. Maybe eventually see if they can do what it's done. Maybe take it over.
Jackson takes over. On downs. Right at the 35-yard line. Wide open. Inside Bengal territory. They go to Wallace again. So the 4th-year guy out of Oklahoma State covers that top by Turner. That's a gain of 20.
They motion out, and I think he just ends up getting lost in coverage. Once they motion him out there, they've got him outflanked. They've got one too many receivers. Oklahoma State up tight on the underneath route. Nobody's there to be able to take Wallace. So all of a sudden, 16 is kind of alive here.
84-yard gain, 20-yard gain. Fake to Henry. Fired over the middle. That's short. That's Andrews. He gets into the action. Already in the field goal range. First down.
Since that turnover where Marlon Humphrey got the ball out of Chase Brown, the Ravens are playing their style of football. They're playing on their terms, defensively, more aggressive, offensively, getting first down, positive yards, not going backwards with a holding call or a legal procedure. They're doing the right things, playing their kind of football.
Henry. 8 and 9. All momentum now with the Ravens. Tackled by Bell again, erasing a 14-point deficit, and then on the cusp of retaking the lead.
The times we see this in Tennessee when Derrick Henry was in his prime. Look at the backside blocks here, the left side, Ronnie Stanley. Good job of flushing that down. You trusted Henry's got the vision. Nice back door cut there by Henry.
2nd and 1. Jackson. And he picks up the first down. Hand slap from the fan. Andrews led the way. Halfway through the quarter, gain of 5 first down.
We haven't seen that much tonight. Looks like Todd Monken is just holding on to that in the fourth quarter just for the right time to be able to turn him loose on that edge. That time he had an escort blocker out in front of him and Mark Andrews. And Todd Monken feeling it right now. His quarterback's playing well.
Ducks it off. Henry. Short game. Sam covered at 94. Then on that tackle, gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
A couple of wrinkles at this offense, dropping both of their defensive ends, both Hubbard and Hendrickson that time, dropping out the flat. Had 8 in coverage, only rushing 3. Trying to get him to just hold on to the football.
Capstill.com says LA Lakers dropped the 2-4 AT versus Philadelphia since January 26th of 2020. But Kobe Bean Bryant's 54, and the Lakers will be 5-4 for the year. No Max Lee. He's hurt. He hurt his fingers. Bottom line is, without Anthony Davis, Lakers can win that game. There's no Tyrese Maxley. Lakers going to win that game.
Hendrickson starting his career in New Orleans. 8th year in the league. Leading the league in sacks. 3rd and 9. Pressure. Wide open. Touchdown.
He wasn't even covered.
Blitz and got burned. 18 yards. Go for 2.
Looked like a mix-up in coverage. Logan Wilson right here has got to be able to control this crossing route. He in the corner who's working across. That was Cam Taylor-Britt. They almost ran into each other, but clearly looked confused. Nobody takes the big guy, and another perfect throw that time by Lamar Jackson.
He set the extra man. Andrews to the end zone. Jackson's now going for 234. Going for 2 to try to make it a 7-point lead.
Von Bell trying to get some of the attention.
Jackson.
They won't even try to tackle Lamar on that 2-point conversion.
Conversion good. And they've erased a 14-point deficit to lead by 7. 28-21.
To buy or not to buy? That is their question. And nobody knows shoppers better than Shopify. The undisputed, undefeated checkout.
The Ravens committed penalties on the Bengals 2-point conversion try. Wow.
Game day, UCR strength.
See, NFL's rigged. They already picked the winner. They weren't going to throw the flag.
We see.
They have the results planned weeks in advance. You see, if the NFL's rigged, they can rig that election too.
Gives you a break with flexible payment options.
Let's get you a break while you wait.
What is this place?
This is our DMVIP. Vending machine charcuterie. For a great low rate, go with the General.
Looking for fresher, softer, and better laundry?
At Outback Steakhouse, try the Great Barrier Eats, like the beef and reef platter, or dive into tasty twin reef shrimp.
I love the Great Barrier beef.
It's reef, mate.
Why would you say that?
Great Barrier Eats, now at Outback.
Downy Ultra Soft is not only luxuriously soft and fresh, it breathes life into your laundry.
I'm trying to reach this top fan. Why don't you just use the Swiffer duster? Man, look, this cleans in all the really tight places and all the really hot ones so you don't have to jump. Whew, looks like you got into it.
That's not love.
Ray Lewis is right there after that beautiful shot.
Ray Lewis was in the house. Speaking of, I was talking about him earlier. He is at the stadium.
They love Ed Reed, go back to those years. Well, it's returnable if they're going to just down in the end zone here.
Talk about Cincinnati. Go back to week 5. There's a quarterback comparison tonight. Both these guys, when they did play in week 5, they put up big numbers. What a turnaround for Lamar Jackson. 2026, 3 touchdowns, 234. Remember, Cincinnati had a lead in that game. They were up 10 in the fourth quarter. Tonight, they were up like 14 in the third quarter.
What's interesting, too, is that the Ravens have coughed up so many fourth quarter leads in recent years. And tonight, turning his head on a dime. Burrow going deep, getting free. Chase, look at this. Just like that.
Where was the coverage?
Struck to the 1 yard line. Crowd doesn't like that.
I think that's a response to what Lamar Jackson did. I'd like to see that, but what a play. You talk about an answer? You talk about number 9 responding and Jamar Chase making a huge play.
70 yards. So Chase tonight, 238 receiving yards, and Burrow's approaching 400. He's 389 at the moment. Whoa. What took you so long? That took 13 seconds, of which he wasted about 5 before he got into the end zone. McPherson, the tie of the game. So we're 28-28. Last time in that 41-38, highest scoring game of the season, and we still have 5:37 left in this one.
Now let's watch Marcus Williams here, and give Bengals all the credit in the world, but he gets caught up in Gesicki, and then he just kind of gets lost. I don't know the coverage, so I don't know if he needs to be back there in center field, but obviously somebody needs to be helping 21 Stevens out. That's a mismatch one-on-one in an island. He needs somebody back there to be able to help him over top. Look at Stevens running. That's why I think they gave up on the play, looking around each other like, where was my help over top? So that time, Marcus Williams, who, by the way, was benched just a couple weeks ago, he responded well last week. But a little bit of confusion, and you do not want to do that in the fourth quarter in a tight game against Joe Burrow. He will take advantage of that every single time. What a throw, and there's that chemistry again with Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Oh, and bring it up again. I mean, the Ravens with the dead last pass defense in the NFL.
This guy, does he get enough hype for how good he is? I mean, when you talk about the elite receivers, he's got
He's among them.
He sure is.
Well, we're talking about the Ravens and how much trouble they've had in recent seasons in the fourth quarter holding on to leads. 5 losses after leading in the fourth, tied for the second most since 2023. So, again, you're in the situation, a big comeback, and then giving up on one play what amounts to the tying touchdown, setting up for a fantastic
I mean, we got 2 of the best quarterbacks in the league, 2 of the best, some of these skill guys, and they're going head-to-head. They're tied up 28 with 5:30 to go.
Jackson, look out. Again, the boys are sacked. What else is doing? He throws deep. And that is picked off by Taylor Britt. Whoa. Cam Taylor Britt. And, of course, the Bengals now pending another look at this. Everything, of course, turnovers reviewed. Does he hold on? Does he keep it?
Oh, that hits the
ground. Premature celebration by the defense who was in the end zone.
And definitely come back. Heckman effort, just not able to get his arms underneath the football before it hits the surface.
Clear.
Couple great looks. And Lamar Jackson lives to tell about it. Got away with one there. Again, he could have taken off. He had positive yards if he wanted to run it.
Running the field, an incomplete pass. So we get second down.
So 2nd and 10.
We split 5 minutes and 27 seconds on the game clock.
2nd and 10 at the 30. Ravens have 3 touchdowns on their last 3 drives. Henry. Over about a 4-yard gain. So 3rd and 6 as the clock ticks down to 5 minutes to go in the 4th.
It's a battle of wills here, but he runs the football. What a collision with Jermaine Pratt that time with Derrick Henry. Rumo's got a lot of shifting, a lot of changing of the personnel, trying to respond to what the Ravens are going to.
Justice Hill in the backfield. 3rd and 6. 4-man rush. Lamar throws. Caught. First down. To the 48-yard line. They're shut. They want to keep that kick there. 4 total. First down.
Wilson's up and then drops. And once he drops, there's a void in the middle of this defense. The receiver comes from the left, just kind of sits right there. Lamar Jackson waits to the very last possible moment before he does that line. He kind of jumps out, he elevates, he flips the ball to the open receiver. That was big hurdle right here.
4 minutes to go. Jackson to the outside. That's taken by Flowers. And Flowers is finding the referee down. First down.
Almost knowing he can sense that the defense had dropped. Nobody was out there. So he waited, and pretty much downfield, knowing he's going to disrupt the season. So his peripheral vision has got it, and he's looking for all that space after the catch.
Russia 1. Russia 1. I ain't got no vodka with me, but knock that shit down, comrade. Russia won the election. He gonna crash it. He gonna crash us again like it was in 2020. He talks shit about the Mexicans, and they still vote for the guy. Vote.
Great run.
Fuck that bitch ass big guy. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Loser. Oh, it's going away in 30 days. It's a democratic hoax. Idiocracy. 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 No wall. Where's your wall at? Where's your wall? Where is it? Where is it? gone because of the 22nd Amendment, right? You can't run a third term. But you imagine if Donald Trump and you claim Obama's going to run the third term and override the Constitution, then Donald Trump better not be, if he's still alive, should not be running for a third term in 2028. If you want to be credible, you better hope he's not running for a third term in 2028, nigga ass motherfucker. You see? Because if he's still alive, running a third term means he avoids prosecution. Democracy is garbage. It's all bullshit. You can still avoid prosecution because of presidential immunity. Not every person is abide by the same standards, are they? No one is abide by the same set of rules. Not in America. People still have king's preferential treatment in this freaking ass country.
20 minutes ago. You'd say automatic for Justin Tucker, one of the greats of all time.
System is rigged. Bernie should have been president for 8 years. That is if it wasn't rigged.
I think also you got confidence that Lamar Jackson is
Loser ass degenerates. Just because you're fighting day by day doesn't mean you shouldn't keep yourself on board for just 30 minutes every day. For 30 minutes every day, keep up with everything that's happened. It's only 33 days. I get it. You might be tired. Drink that bottle of beer, that glass of wine. You gotta stay on top of the information. Part of fighting against oligarchy is not being apathetic. It's the fact that you must start taking in the information. No, we're brainwashed by this stupid-ass football game, are we? But I'm not brainwashed by the football game. I keep myself very well informed. But they can remember the stats for this stupid-ass football game, but they won't know shit about what happened during Donald Trump's last 4 years because they're very forgettable, and Americans have short-term memories, and that's what makes them mental retards. I've lived through 4 years of hell of Donald Trump. I've lived through this shit. I've lived through COVID. I've lived through billionaire tax cuts. I've lived through the failure of making a better healthcare plan compared to Obamacare. You see? That's why we're screwed. Donald Trump is a part of the system. He's not an outsider. He was part of the system ever since 2016. He's no outsider. He's part of the system. He's another failed politician. He's just another freaking retread. When you re-elect retreads, this is the consequence you get. Failed results. Don't bitch and whine when the prices go up because of the same failed trade war. Donald Trump bailed out the farmers due to the trade war failure back in the day 6 to 8 years ago. He's just repeating the same failed policies. This guy's illiterate degenerate. America's full of degenerate junkies. The whole lot of them are going to suffer the consequences.
Since the pandemic, the number of people reaching out to the hotline has nearly doubled. Every day, more than 3,000 people reach out to us for help. Our advocates are available 24/7 to provide safety planning, support, and connection to local resources such as shelter, legal assistance, and counseling. The hotline wants you to know what you feel is valid. Abuse in any form is never.
People are just dumber compared to 20 years ago. What age was I 20 years ago? 9. People are retards. We are a worthless country of degenerate fucking losers. Project 2025, let me show you exactly how you're going to get butt raped by the billionaires. Because you're getting butt raped by billionaires. You're getting really fucked up the ass. You're going to be crying a lot in these next 2 years. The same people thinking they won with Donald Trump. You guys can be crying. It's what separates the educated from the ignorant. Literally. You all will be crying. People regretted their vote for Donald Trump back in 2016. People are mentally retarded. Republican voters are deplorables.
So 2 minutes to go. We're tied. It is.
They are stupid. Fair and Balance was right about that.
Here just to give time compared to letting him work the clock down.
Failed the country during COVID, but somehow he's reelected. We live in a freaking idiocracy. The world will never look at us the same again. America's no longer a superpower. America's no longer a superpower.
Running the football once, running it a second time. The Bengals are going to be out of timeouts, working all the way down to about 30 to 35 seconds. Chip shot to take the lead with 30 to 35 seconds. Compared to giving.
It's up to me if I want to decide between moving to England or Ireland, but then these people are letting in globalists in their countries, and these people are letting. Well, England, they are. England, they will be replaced by Muslims, you see. At least in Italia, they want to preserve the people. It'd be a loss for the world if Italia was no longer Italian. See, the world, not even the world would favor Italia being replaced by immigrants, because the Italian people are truly beautiful, and it would be a loss for the world if it. And I think the people in Italia are very headstrong about that, and I think these people in England, they're letting globalists run over their borders.
Tucker's extra point is good.
So it kind of works out for Cincinnati. It doesn't work out. They gave them points, but they had to do some time to work now.
Let me head out to In-N-Out. I'm a baller.
Steph Curry little jump. And look at the follow through.
I drink this old bottle again and again. I'm going to head out to In-N-Out. They close in 15 minutes. I'm within a mile or two away. So let me head over there. Let me head back. Hang in there. 15, 20 minutes. Again, the game is happening. I'm watching the game, but the key plays didn't happen until the fourth quarter. Let me head over for some In-N-Out burger. The burger. You see the burger.
They made a few adjustments in the half.
I think they did. It's going to be fun to see what Joe Burrow and Chase can do here.
You never know. Ain't over, baby. 7-point lead. Tucker. His kick. Down to the end zone. Started the 30. Reminder after the game, Jason Penny post-game show on Prime Video. Gaming interviewing the star of the game. Our gang is here to recap it all. A lot to recap tonight, too. A lot.
I think this comes down to the offensive line to give Joe Burrow time to throw. Joe Burrow lives for these kind of opportunities with the pressure on. No timeouts, down 7.
Chase out. Throws. Can't be one-handed by Mississippi because Owe put the pressure on. 2nd and 10 with 1:44.
Interesting decision with Zach Orr, first-time defensive coordinator, learning as he goes, doing a good job. Dave Pease, who's upstairs, came over a few weeks ago to help him out. They dial up pressure there. Instead of sitting back and prevent defense, they dial it up. Get after Burrow.
Chase to the right. Burrow. Pressure as he throws. Chase went back to grab that line. And Abiki is at 3 sacks tonight. Forced that issue. 3rd down.
Looked like they may have gotten a hold of Joe Burrow's face mask there on the follow-through. Let's see if it did. How did he get it right there? You know, he got his thumb, and yeah, he could actually grab onto it. No call, so it's 3rd and 10.
And we saw that in the Nike Ram game.
Yeah, we sure did.
A couple of weeks ago. No call. 3rd and 10.
They're going maximum protection. They got 2 tight ends in that backfield.
Burrow fires over the middle. Nobody home there. So 4th down. Down to 1 more play.
Again, Zach Orr brings the pressure. Burrow had to get the ball out. Miscommunication. The Seahawks not making that move over the middle where they've had so much success tonight. First play of the game.
Last guess. On 4th down, Burrow fires, and that is going to be caught at the 40-yard line. Wow. And they're going to give him the first. No, they are. They give him the first down. Yosevich with the first down. And they stop the clock. You can't challenge anything at this point, but you can upstairs take a look at what they're doing. So they'll look at this upstairs. Whoa, where's the ball?
Where's that ball when that knee touches?
Can't be any closer than that. Terry McCauley, what are you seeing?
Yeah, you're going to look for a down-the-line shot. Where is the nose of the ball when the knee touches? If it touches the 40, it's a first down. We haven't seen anything yet so far. It's clear and obvious that we reverse this.
By the way,
as of now, it's going to stand, guys.
Yeah, it looks like he's on the line when the ball comes down. What an effort with the game on the line to come up with that catch.
There's the knee down. That's the end of the play. But where's the point of the ball? If it's on the 40-yard line, it's a first down. If it's a first down, you have a 121. They still have that timeout. The ball being the 40-yard. Meanwhile, let's note as you look at Jackson, 4 touchdown passes tonight. This is over on the GM, Eric Acosta. So right now, Lamar Jackson has thrown 24 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions this season.
24-2.
24-2.
And not to mention what he does with his legs, over 500 yards rushing. Again, by the way, Burrow once again gets hit as he makes that throw.
And the Bengals have already started the huddle, which leads us to believe they've already told Cincinnati it's going to stand, even though Cleve Blakeman is looking at it. Harbaugh wants to wave it off, but to no avail here because we think it's going to stand. Our inside information, whatever that is.
After review, the ruling of the field stands as called.
So here we go. 81 seconds, 1 timeout.
They keep moving Jamar Chase. They've been doing it all night. He's been on the left, been in the slot. Now he's down at the bottom right here.
Meanwhile, Barrow has now thrown for 399 yards. Burrow fires incomplete. The second thing is smothered by Darius Washington, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, but Kyle Hamilton down. These defensive backs have had to move around Darius Washington, who's a corner. He's 5'8". Gesicki is 6'5", 6'6". Hits that right hand around the length of Gesicki and is able to extend it and knock the ball away. That's a heck of a play by an undersized defensive back.
To the outside. Chase. Flag is thrown on the play.
It's a Marvin Humphrey.
Yeah.
Grab the hold of receiver. Siva.
Of course, if it's on the defense, it's an automatic first down. We would take the penalty. We've got 106 now. Then with a handful of seconds.
He can hold the shoulder pad or the face mask there, Humphrey.
Well, there's a conference going on here with all of the officials.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, defense, number 44.
That'll be tacked on in the back end of his play. That's 15 more yards.
So it's interesting. They missed one face mask, but got the other.
Yeah, right. And it's the veteran Humphrey gets that right hand up. Yosivach there just trying to get off the line of scrimmage.
So the ball now at the Raven 45. 66 seconds. Deep drop, under pressure. Throws, he's got Chase again. Had Chase in the 23, but a flag is thrown on this play with 2 flags in the offensive backfield.
Burrow got destroyed
Roughing the passer,
after he
defense
threw
number
this ball.
96. Mission to the goal line, first down.
On Broderick Washington.
Yeah. By the way, he's been hit all night, gets hit underneath, gets hit over top, they follow through, drive him into the ground. Washington does. Look where the location of that ball is. Once again, under duress. He gets it to his guy, half the distance to the goal line. In the blink of an eye, they're inside the red, so they're inside the 15-yard line.
21-yard pass, 15-yard penalty. A lot going on here. If they score, you go for 2. Meanwhile, if they score now, score 2 fast. The Ravens have plenty of time. They've got 2 timeouts. 59 seconds. From the 12. Burrow to the back corner of the end zone and incomplete there. Looking for Burton. Covered by Nate Wiggins, 2nd down.
Just amazed how Joe Burrow sits in that pocket. He doesn't have happy feet. He gets hit almost every time he throws. Every week of the season, not tonight, every week since this is year 5, and the guy doesn't flinch. It's remarkable.
His piercing eyes surveying that defense, 2nd and 10. Hangs in the pocket again, fires, caught at the 5-yard line. Chase makes that Rex of Chase tonight. 11 catches. 266, you got a flag down on the play.
On the other side, all the way over by the Cincinnati sideline.
Away from the play itself.
Probably on Van Roy. 53 may have jumped.
Offside, defense number 53, lining up in the neutral zone. Carries 5 yards, replay, 2nd down.
Yeah, they'll take the call because it makes it 2nd down and 5.
Right. Trying to get a jump, then he kind of gets caught. He's trying to pull himself back.
So 50 seconds. Ball at the 7. to Brown. Brown is out of bounds at the 5-yard line. So Chase Brown is there. It's going to be 3rd and 3. And again, the Bengals still have that one timeout.
They'll hold on to that timeout. And with 42 seconds, I mean, again, Lamar Jackson and his group of receivers and the kicker, that they don't need a ton of time. Right now, Joe Burrow is probably not worried about time. He's worried about trying to hit the ball into the end zone. And then it's decision time, what they do for Zach Taylor.
Chase lined up to the right side. Looks that way. Throws that way. Caught! Chase! What a night! Touchdown. 38 seconds. Well, this is as good as their first meeting this year. It turned out to be. So now, if you're Cincinnati, what do you want to go for 2? You want to go for 1? What do you want to do here?
Whoa, this is Zach Taylor has been aggressive all night.
You got to go for it.
Yeah.
You're going for the lead. I don't want to say the win yet. Because the Ravens are going to get the ball back, and they've got 2 timeouts.
He's got a matchup already. You can see that he wants right there. It's Stevens against Chase. Yep, he's got him all isolated. Take it. That's what you want.
That's interesting. Oh, that's interesting.
Zach Taylor came all the way down and called the timeout. Now let's take a peek at this touchdown. And once again, it's a great throw and a really nice job. But you got a rookie corner in Wiggins, and you got a linebacker here in Simpson, and you got 2 guys that take the flat. The read is you got an underneath receiver and you got a deep receiver. You're supposed to only be reading 1 defender, but there's 2 guys that take the underneath receiver, and he's able to go up and over both of them, and a spectacular catch there by Jamar Chase once again.
They wanted to see what the defense had. So you're right. He had the matchup.
He did. Yeah. Now they come out with a completely different formation.
Totally.
Personnel hit up. Oh, there you go. There goes Chase. He got it again. He's got that same matchup.
Same thing. Joseph Locke to the right side. Chase to the left side. To the right side he goes. Incomplete at the goal line. Washington breaking it up. No flag. And the Ravens are going to pull off a big victory. Down by 14 at one point. Even more is shaking his head.
Yeah. Watch Gesicki, who he didn't look to. But watch how physical this route is. He's got 2 Ravens on. They grab a hold of him. And he right away, that's defensive holding right there that they should have called. And here's Hudson matched up one-on-one again with an undersized defensive back. Ball's just too high. And I think the frustrating thing is Gesicki right away throwing his arms up in the air asking, where is the defensive holding ball? I don't think Zach Taylor wanted to give Lamar Jackson an opportunity in the overtime. I just don't think he wanted to. They've scored 4 straight touchdowns, and he didn't want to roll the dice. He saw that in Cincinnati in Week 5, and he said, let's take a chance here and try to win it while we can.
So Cincinnati has declared, which you have to do these days, an onside kick has to go 10 yards. And their only chance right here. So there have been 27 onside kicks attempted, of which 2 have been recovered by the kicking team. And that's how tough it is after these days. Back to the 2-pointer we go.
This is after the throw, the 2-point conversion. Oh, wow. It's another one. And Joe doesn't complain very often. He did there. He just kind of grabbed it. Wow, look at that follow through. And then you throw that in the Gesicki. Jerry, what do you see here on both these? The hit, the follow-through on his face mask, and Gesicki.
Yeah, it was clearly defensive holding before the pass was in flight.
Yeah.
That should have been called. And that does look like forceful contact to the head of the quarterback. That's a person. That's roughing the passer and should have been called.
Too many games end this way.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yep.
You miss calls, the whole thing. So frustrating. So frustrating. It's not frustrating the more the finish than the commitment.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews recovers that. And in a game that came close to matching that first game of the season between these two teams, the Ravens are going to do it again, sweep the season series.
Both these games were classics. Both these games were everything you want to see in divisional matchups. Baltimore, to their credit, great teams find ways to win games, but there'll be a lot of people going to be talking about both of those non-calls there on the 2-point conversion. Doesn't mean that they would have ended up winning the game, but they would have definitely had another opportunity
every week. It'll take us to the finish line and take the Baltimore Ravens to a record of 7-3. Their next game at Pittsburgh against the division leaders. And the Bengals right now 4-6. And in deep trouble in terms of their playoff hopes. 35-34. Burrow tonight, 4 touchdown passes, 428 yards. Jackson tonight, 4 touchdown passes, 290 yards. They took care of Derrick Henry tonight, limited him to 68. But the Ravens gained 389 yards. The Bengals 472. So again, tons of offense. But at the end of the day, it came down to that 2-point missed conversion.
Wakey, wakey. Sunday morning football is back in Germany. And NFL Network has an NFC clash live from Allianz Arena in Munich. As the Giants square off against the Panthers, set your alarms because this waits for no one. Rise, shine, football. Giants, Panthers, Sunday at 9:30, only on NFL Network.
You got a Pepto predicament, Ace. You overdid it on the loaded fries. Now your gut is in the gutter. Undo it with Pepto Fast Melts, so you can keep on rolling. When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto-Bismol. It's not what's under the tree that matters. It's who's around it.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. Because it's the things you make that show what you're made of. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
This is you, and this is your surprising hunch. And with FanDuel's easy-to-use app, you can act whenever it speaks to you.
New customers bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Only from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
All over America, strangers with different political views are coming together to talk about their lives, not politics, and discovering they have a lot in common. Because even if we don't see eye to eye, we can still talk heart to heart. Learn more at takeonesmallstep.org.
The Bengals and Ravens deliver once again. A 35-34 Baltimore win, sweeping the season series. Welcome. This is the NFL Game Day Final, Mercedes-Benz postgame. And Jamar Chase's touchdown brought the Bengals within a point, but then going for the win, going for 2, incomplete. Burrow looking for Hudson, and the Ravens moved to 7-3, handing the Bengals their 6th loss of the season. Hello, everybody. Welcome inside our NFL Network newsroom here in Los Angeles. I'm Rhett Lewis. That is Maurice Jones-Drew. This is the NFL Game Day Final, Mercedes-Benz postgame. I asked you if you were going to be ready.
I told you
for
what
this.
I wanted, and I didn't get that because my heart's racing.
That's okay,
You know
man.
that. No, it's not.
We've got an hour to relive the drama of this series
Oh, my
that now
goodness.
finishes with the Ravens
sweeping it up.
Well, this is the thing. First of all, it was a great game, back and forth, fourth quarter, third quarter was awesome. But if you're going to go for two, Jamar Chase has been unguardable for 4 quarters of this football game, and we don't throw the ball in the 2-point conversion.
It did look all right. So if you really just
We
that
don't
last,
throw the ball.
that was our key play of the game right there, down there at the end, right? So they come out, they immediately Joe Burrow after scoring the touchdown, they were going for two, right? They come out, they kind of try to get a look at things. Bengals call timeout, and then they come back out and they get Chase lined up on Stevens, looked to be one-on-one, and went away. I mean, I get it.
I don't.
No, I mean, I get like the idea, right? The idea, you know.
Here, we're about to go through this whole drive.
All right.
Let's see who he throws to. All right, that's
Andre Yosibach, which was a phenomenal catch by Yosibach right there at the line.
great play, great catch. Burrow's getting hit at the same time. The guys are competing. What a catch there. Awesome job. First down.
Yeah.
We agree. That's a
Reviewed it. First down. That was on 4th and 10. Here we go. 2nd and 10. We got to go to Chase.
Yeah.
Incomplete, though.
Yeah, but then you get the penalty.
You get the flag. Personal foul.
Face mask on Marlon Humphrey.
Yeah, as he was defending Yosibach. Yeah, clear as day. They did miss a face mask penalty.
He pulled him down by it, too. Jesus.
Yeah, that'll get it. That'll get you. Now, we'll get to a key play that Humphrey made, too, earlier in the game.
Look at this. Give him the ball. Look at him. This is after 650.
Then they tack on another 15 for roughing the passer. Bang, bang, there it is. So now we're in business here. Time is no longer an issue. Yeah, driving into the turf. Time right there. 7 and 3, inside of 5.
This is the best.
But the game.
When you see it from behind.
What do you mean? The game is still continuing. How's it on game day final?
You know, saying, hey, and yeah, definitely got to hand the face mask there.
Yeah, this game is still continuing.
At the broadcast saying that Gesicki should have been held here.
You're not going to get that holding going though that close to. You got to get down.
That was all in the 2-point conversion. And I'm fine with going for 2. You're on the road. Let's go for the win.
Super MVP in the Super Bowl.
He scored on his last 4 possessions. But yeah, I love to see the ball.
Regular season MVP and the MVP. The MVP of the Super Bowl.
Both now 16 touchdowns through the air.
Bills are not going to do it until they move into the new stadium. I mean, Bills will do it eventually, but not until they move into the new stadium.
Controlling the game, airs out of the stadium, right?
Defense is talking trash. Guys are playing with energy.
Chase Brown gets the ball ripped out. Great technique, ripped out here by Marlon Humphrey.
You know, the one thing I will say about Marlon Humphrey, in coverage, I mean, he's a really good corner, but he's ball aware.
Yeah.
He's always around the football. Interceptions, punch outs, that play right there. He's always doing stuff like that to get the ball out. And then after that, here they came. That was it. Here it goes.
Derrick Henry had new life, right? Lamar Jackson was finding running lanes.
Doing Lamar Jackson stuff.
Hey, I wish they would have just scored on this.
Lamar's exciting to watch. That missed tackle was rigged on that touchdown. Let's be real. What if it's different this time around? I'm just saying. My only bet for the NFL is for the Lions to win the conference. You can decide what you want to do for the Super Bowl. So you have Dan Campbell in there. He was assistant coach of Sean Payton at the Superdome. So everything's all scripted for the Lions to make it to the Super Bowl. But I like Lamar. You're next. You're the next guy to win the first Super Bowl. That's Lamar Jackson. They'll lose against Buffalo. They will. Well, it's okay because they have the Raiders and the Panthers in future weeks. So it'll be up to the Bills to keep on winning football games during those weeks in which the Chiefs play the Panthers and the Raiders. Yeah, good point. I just think there should be the curveball so people don't start giving up on the NFL. It would still be rigged for Lamar to win, though.